It looks like the Democratic Party is in chaos. They fighting each other. They're trying to figure out where all the money from Kamala's campaign went. And we're going to talk about all of that next on It's Culture. Welcome back to another It's Culture podcast episode. My name is Mark and I'm the host of this podcast. Tonight, the Democrats are in a frenzy because all the reports are coming out about the FEC filings for where all the money that was raised during the Kamala Harris campaign went. And it got staffers pissed off. It's got donors pissed off. It's got everybody pissed off and wondering what the hell actually went down. And was this just a big $1 billion money grab? We had influencers and everybody else was getting paid. Everybody was getting to the bag. And somehow or another, $2 billion was ran through by this campaign, and now they $20 million in debt. So before we get into all of that, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can get all the updates when I go live. And as I always say in all my shows, I appreciate everybody who is subscribing. We keep climbing every single day. The last total I saw was 5,800. Let's try to get to 6,000, y'all. Let's try to get over 6,000, and then we can continue on to 10,000 and beyond. So for those of you all who continue to subscribe to the channel, who continue to watch my videos and the content, who continue to comment, I am greatly appreciative to all of you, and thank you so much for rocking with me. I remember when Kamala Harris first became like the front runner to be the nominee after Joe Biden's terrible performance on June 27th with the debate with now President-elect Trump. And everybody was floating the idea that she was going to be the nominee. And then she becomes a nominee. All this money starts being raised. You had Win with Black Men and Women for Harris, and black women were raising money. And they were the first ones. The black women were the first ones. They had the Zoom call. And it was all these donors, all these women from the Divine Nine, AKAs, Deltas, Sigma Gamma Rho, Zetas. They were raising money. You had celebrities on these calls, the Taraji P. Hensons and all of them on these calls. And they raised this money. I forgot how much. I know it was over $1 million they raised. And everybody was like, ooh, look at that. So then you had Roland Martin and Bakari Sellers do the same thing with the Win with Black Men campaign. And they raised over a couple of $1 million. Then you had white women who came through for Harris, and they raised a couple of $1 million. And then you had the Latinos doing it. And you had all these groups raising all this money. A lot of us were wondering, what were they getting for raising all this money? What was the end result for raising this money? Number one, they started with her not even being a nominee. That's when all this money started to be raised in the first place. And then after she got the nomination, you saw her campaign and what she was promoting, and the grassroots was like, no. And people were told to shut up, go in the corner. I saw it all over my ex timeline. People being called unintelligent, uneducated, whatever you want to call people to say that they were not smart enough to understand what was going on. That's what was coming from the Democratic Party, particularly to denigrate and dismiss and destroy and discredit black men, as well as white men too, because they said it was a patriarchy and everybody's misogynist and racist. Those were the talking points. Trump stayed on the economy and immigration. And they tried to their best to race bait as much as they could to get you to think how to go out there and vote. I'm talking to minorities right now. And they ran on women's rights to try to bring over white women, thinking that was going to do it. But the people who were actually being put in front of us, especially in the black community, were the entertainers. Malcolm X said something one time, and I'm going to show y'all this video real quick. So we're going to take a listen to this real quick and see what Malcolm just said. Take a listen.
I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
So that was Malcolm X back in the 60s. And so let's think about what we're talking about in this video. We're talking about spending and who was out in front doing all the talking, these celebrities. So let's see how much money was spent by this campaign to these said celebrities to try to get a election result.
Kamala Harris smashed the Democratic Party to pieces with a $2 billion hammer. Now the kingmakers are tearing each other apart, trying to seize control and rebuild the party from the bottom up. But what's the Democratic Party without any money? Kamala burned through $100 million a week during her little campaign.
Okay, $100 million a week. A week was being spent. Let's just think about that now.
Now Democrats are in debt. She didn't win a single swing state and was the first Democrat to lose the popular vote in 20 years. So what'd Kamala do with her billions? New reporting from the Times shows Kamala gave $2 million to influencers and spent $10 million on concerts. Kamala blew $900,000 to put her face on the Las Vegas Sphere. And originally it was reported she paid Oprah $1 million for an interview. It's actually $2.5 million. They built a venue for a rally in Pittsburgh, but then had to tear it down because the Secret Service told them it wasn't secure. If only they'd done that in Butler. More than $500,000 went to Al Sharpton and Roland Martin, both people who just so happened to give softball interviews to Kamala. I'm not sure it's connected at all. And she spent thousands on Uber Eats and ice cream. I guess Joe's holdovers liked ice cream just as much as the big guy. While Kamala was eating dessert and making her friends richer, her staffers were getting stiffed. Kamala stopped paying some of her top staffers over the weekend, and now the DNC's firing hundreds of employees. The staffers are furious. One told Axios, quote, "If they want to be the party of the working people, they should have more respect for their workers. There's an inauthenticity in how they talk about workers, and clearly voters feel the same thing."
Concerts. Now, the concerts were crazy. You had Glorilla do a concert. You had Meg Thee Stallion do a concert. I think Katy Perry did something. You had Taylor Swift out here saying some things. You had all these celebrities, and not one of them pushed people to the polls for Kamala Harris. And so now you have the money being spent. $500,000 to Al Sharpton to do what exactly? Like, honestly, what influence does Al Sharpton actually have in the black community anymore? Like, the only people that actually pay attention to Al Sharpton, let's just keep it a buck. The only people that pay attention to Al Sharpton are our parents' age, like the 70-year-old group, that boomer class, 65 and better. They listen to Al Sharpton. Nobody young is paying attention to what Al Sharpton is doing. So why is he getting paid $500,000 to what new voters is he bringing to a campaign? The vast majority of people don't rock with Al Sharpton. Don't rock with Jesse Jackson. We look at them as elders. We got respect for them, but as far as what's going on in the day-to-day lives of people right now, they are totally irrelevant to what we see and how we feel. That's the problem. Roland Martin she comes on the Black Star Network, the Black Star Media Network. New Visions is actually the name of his company, and yes, he got paid. And the FCC filing said $350,000. He didn't even try to denounce it and say it wasn't him. He said it was for media buys, but it's kind of crazy because Roland has a show on YouTube, and if you getting advertising dollars on here, you have to have that link to say that it was a paid advertisements. It's not like has a network offline that's on cable news somewhere and it's being broadcast. No. I know he was doing it on TV1 for a while. Listen, this is the problem with this. The problem is the people who are getting money, and I'm not even talking about them getting paid for their services now, because everybody's trying to get to the bag. But if you are out here getting paid to do something, you should at least let the people know that you're actually getting paid to do it. So it's not like you are out here, but that's what influencers do, right? They get paid to influence, right? They get paid to influence. They get paid to manipulate you as an informed voter and try to get you to vote a certain way because they're getting paid to do it. Now you got people who are out here with small money. The $10 donors, the $25 donors. Do you actually think that they really want to see this? $100 million going to various consulting and marketing firms? And when we look into the FCC filing, most of them were non-minority. $15 million for event productions. These were concerts. These weren't even rallies for the public. Yeah, they might have been free, but they were paying people on the other end to do exactly to entertain you. That's why you got Meg Thee Stallion in Atlanta. That's how you got Katy Perry. That's how you got Beyonce coming on stage for 3 minutes. Now, Beyonce's mom, Tina, has come out and said that she didn't get paid. But I guess when the FCC filings come out and they have the rest of the expenditures, we're going to see if said Beyonce Knowles Carter actually did get paid. $4 million on private jets. $4 million on social media marketing. $1 million to Oprah Winfrey, Harpo Productions Company. Now, Oprah came out when they asked her, did she get paid? And she said no. Do y'all remember this?
Hey Oprah, good morning. How are you, darling? You looking very good. How do you think the election went?
Not talking about the election, thank you very much.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
Not true.
Not true, okay.
I was paid nothing, ever.
But Harpo Productions is your company, Oprah. So if your company got paid, then you got paid. That'll just be like you owning something and somebody comes in and pays, like say you own a business and you were a landscaper. Just to say you were a landscaper, yeah. You have a landscaping business and the landscaping business got paid for a service. And then you come out and say, you know what? I didn't get the money. But your company did. So essentially you got the money. To do what? To put on a town hall where you ask softball questions. Again. And then $150,000 to the Black Voter Matters Fund. That's a nonprofit that's supposed to be out here trying to get people to vote. They getting paid. Nonprofit getting paid to do a service. To go out and pass out information and literature. I thought that they were out supposed to be trying to rally black folks to register them to vote. I didn't know that they were a partisan group that was promoting a political candidate. But the fact of the matter remains is that you had all these people who were out here manipulating the masses, manipulating people to get them to the polls to vote in a certain way. And that $2 billion heist did not work. And because of that, now you have people calling folks uneducated. Oh, Trump won the uneducated vote. He won some of the black men because they're misogynist. he won white men because they're racist, and white women failed us, and all this is a big blame game. All this money that was raised, and the staffers can't get paid. Some people are pissed. They got laid off today. Most of them got laid off today. They ain't getting nothing. That kind of sounds familiar to her first campaign when she ran back in 2020. When she ran for a couple of months and had to lay everybody off. So all these people, some of them uproot themselves, move to other locations to be on the ground, to be knocking on doors, to try to get people to volunteer. These people are not getting paid. Some of them have come out and said that they don't even know if they're going to have enough money for Thanksgiving, when they were promised that they were going to be paid to the end of the year. But it's kind of hard to pay people when you're $20 million in debt. And this is who was supposed to be fixing the economy. Poof. 100 days, $1 billion. $2 billion total when you add in the money that was brought over from other various forms and PACs and Joe Biden's campaign. $2 billion, you 20 million in debt. So what does that say about us? Well, we heard what Malcolm X said. And to my black listeners, we got to be way better than this. We can't keep allowing celebrities to influence us, to do anything. And I'm glad that tide is shifting. I'm glad that black people are finally waking up to the idea that we don't need to be told what to think, how to vote, and who to support. I'm glad that we're now starting to look at celebrities for what they are, just entertainers, people that we go see because we like what they're producing. But we're not looking for a celebrity for political advice, because they don't live in the same bubble that we live in. They don't live the lives that we live as everyday citizens. But for some reason in the black community, we have always had celebrities, we held them to some high regard as if they were some gods and goddesses or something, kings and queens. When these people don't know you from Adam, but they'll sell you right down the river as soon as the check clears. While you are struggling to put food on your table, they're taking in millions of dollars just to go out and say, simply vote for Kamala Harris. While you all were struggling and still sending your $25, your money was being spent by media and marketing firms to the tune of $100 million. You were buying ice cream. You were paying for private jets. This was all done in 100 days. Wow. It is clear and obvious that there has been a lot of finessing going on. There's been a lot of it. And we got to start looking at people for who they are and what they represent. And we got to start digging deep, because we know that our people, they'll sell you down the river, real quick for a bag. And I'm not knocking the bag. Go get your money. But I think if you're going to be out here getting your money, you should at least be honest with the people that you're getting it from. At least to the people that you are promoting and you marketing your material to. Be honest, man. Be honest. Nobody's going to stop you from getting your bag. Get the money. So that's my time tonight. Let me know what y'all think. Was this is reckless spending? This was reckless spending. So let me know in the comment section. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, Culture Nation, let's keep it culture.